Hey, this is Dr. Laura Koniver, and today I want to talk to you about the health benefits of meditation. And more importantly, I want to give you 3 tips on how you can bring all of the health benefits and the focus and the clarity and the healing that a meditation practice provides into a short snippet so that you can bring it into your day. You can bring it into your workspace. You can bring it into a really quick bedtime routine right before you go to sleep or the first thing you do when you wake up. So, back in 2005, a physician named Dr. Benson, who's been studying mind body medicine for over 35 years out of Harvard Medical School, walked through his take on 4 steps that you can do to, to really mitigate the effects of stress and bring the benefits of having this mind body break in the midst of stress and how this can actually boost your productivity in the end. So he described 4 steps. So one is you're under stress. Say you're at work and you're working on a project and you're banging your head against the wall. You have productive stress, right? Which is like, your energy is increased and your concentration and your motivation is increased. But then you get into this non-productive area where your cortisol level is high, your blood pressure is getting high, you might be getting anxious, you're feeling physically not good. And then on top of it, that is making you mentally scattered. You realize, answers aren't coming easily. Problem solving isn't coming easily. And it's non-productive. Now you're suffering the physical effects of prolonged state of heightened stress, and you're not even getting anything done. So when you hit against that wall, step 2 is to completely disengage. And that has to be intentional because it's so much easier to sit there just trying to force through and plugging away. You have to intentionally disengage and do something completely that takes you out of that zone completely. And then the 3rd step is when you're completely disengaged, paradoxically, your brain actually increases the activity in the centers that actually help you problem solve. So using functional MRI studies to look at brain activity. And when someone is, under stress and then disengages from that stress and takes a few moments, it doesn't have to be prolonged, a few moments away from that intense environment and goes into something that is pleasurable for them. And here's where enter meditation if you have a meditation practice, or going to play a round of golf, or taking a nap, or going on a really long walk, or doing yoga, or whatever gets you completely disengaged from the stress of that workspace or whatever is the environment that's causing you stress. Once you're detached like that and intentionally disengaged, not thinking about it at all, your brain actually increases activity in the areas of attention span, in the areas of clarity, in the areas of productivity, in the areas that are active usually when we're actively problem solving. Those areas actually activate when we're completely disengaged. So then, once we've disengaged enough to feel the physical effects of the stress and tension lifting a little bit, our brain is actually primed and better to go back in and tackle the problem that caused the stress in the first place. And most people don't know that. So most people disengage and you either give up or you're like, screw it, I'll come back to it a different day. Or they don't disengage and so they just keep hammering away and hammering away. And neither one really works. What works is you disengage briefly just to allow your brain to heighten productivity and clarity. And then you go back into it with a new heightened ability. Your brain is actually literally better able to handle the tasks that was causing you the stress in the first place. And you have decreased stress in your body at that moment, and you get more stuff done. And so we can be really intentional about doing these 4 steps and without having to feel like we have to go do an hour-long exercise, or we have to leave the office, or we have to find time to take a nap, which is unrealistic in most people's workday. It's just, go, 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 go. But if you knew that if you just took a few minutes of a break to change the brain chemistry and the body's physiologic response to stress, and that you would go right back into it and actually be more productive than if you had stayed in that stress zone, then I think you can get more done with your day, and your body won't suffer the ill effects of prolonged stress as much because it will have actually gotten a tune-up throughout the day. Then there was a study that I love the most, and it was the most recent, and I blogged about it for you on my website. It was published in the American Journal of Psychiatry in June of 2018, so just a few months ago. And this is looking at now really pathological PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, in veterans. So does mantra, just repeating a word, does just that, not talking about meditating for an hour, just talking about a little bit of focused mantra, does that outperform in a double-blind placebo study, so this is the best study of all of them, does that outperform traditional therapy, psychotherapy, talk therapy, focusing on the problem, trying to come up with solutions? So it's really a clinical version of what Dr. Benson was talking about. We're talking about two pathways clinically. One is we're going to go into talk therapy, psychotherapy with a therapist, and talk about the problem and keep trying to pound it out and see if we can get some relief for our symptoms of PTSD. And the other one is all we're going to do is repeat a word several times. And we're going to consistently do that. And this study lasted for 8 weeks. And then they went back 2 months and followed up afterwards to see if the results that they got from the two pathways were persistent, meaning was there any statistically significant benefit over time from doing it, even after the study ended. And it turns out that just repeating a mantra actually outperformed psychotherapy, the talk therapy, where they came in and they talked for an hour straight about their problems and tried to really dive into the issues and come up with solutions. Just repeating a mantra outperformed that. And this is random. The veterans were randomly assigned. They didn't get to pick which one would appeal to them more. And the people who assessed it afterwards, who did it, assessed, rates of anxiety, rates of depression, insomnia, anger, heart rate, blood pressure, all those kinds of things that go into treating PTSD. The people assessing the patients didn't know which therapy they received. And so it was a double-blind study. And the mantra therapy actually outperformed going and doing talk therapy and addressing the problem directly, which is great news because one, if you're working on an issue that you don't want to even dive into, it's so traumatic you don't even want to talk about it, just focusing on a word and repeating it was actually more beneficial. And they had better, more prolonged results afterwards. And especially it was particularly helpful for insomnia. And it was equally beneficial in all the other parameters that they studied. So that's great. And it's also great because that means it's accessible and it's free. That means you can do it right in your workspace. That means you can do it laying in bed right before you go to sleep. That means you can do it when you wake up in the middle of the night and you had a nightmare. That means you can do it while you're driving and you're trying to decompress from the day. It's a therapy you can take with you that is as effective as going to a therapist's office and hammering out an entire hour for intensive psychotherapy. That's incredible news. All right, so I have 3 tools for you to use that will make this so easy. They're tools that you can keep on your desk, by your bedside, in your car. All right, so they're things that give you something to focus on while you just take 3 deep breaths and reap the benefits. And I want you to do these with me right now, okay? This is an interactive video, okay? So the first one is this Chime. I teach a PTSD recovery and resiliency class. If you're interested, go to my website and you can sign up for the next time that I run the course. But in the course, every student gets this exact chime. I love this chime. I love the tone of this chime, and it lasts long enough for me to take 3 deep breaths. So I want you to try it with me right now. If you don't have a chime, you can just keep replaying this video whenever you need it, okay? All you do is hit the middle, and it resonates for quite a long period of time, and I want you to take 3 deep breaths with me, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Ready? I don't know if you can still hear it through the video, but it still has a tone that's going. So it's a nice long tone and it's just the right length of time. And studies have shown it only takes 3 deep breaths for that vagal tone to get boosted. When the vagal tone is boosted, that means it's calming your heart rate, it's bringing your blood pressure down, and it's really relaxing you. My next thing, and this is probably, I like this even more, is a tuning fork. And you might have seen this in your doctor's office because we use this to test hearing, and we can also use it to sometimes test the integrity of your bone and see if you have a little fracture, because as your bone vibrates, it'll be painful if you have a little fracture there. And if it's not painful, then it kind of clears you. Just a rough way of clearing you without an x-ray is this tuning fork. But I like to use it for sound therapy because this takes not only the tone that the chime did, but if you're a physical person like I am and you want to feel it in your body, instead of just breathing, you'll feel the breath, which is awesome. But this allows the vibration. You can use this stem and you can actually hold it. I like to hold it right on my sternum here and feel it over my heart. It's very grounding, and I really wish I could reach out and let you feel it as well. And you can put it on any area of your body that you have tension. Some people put it on trigger points, or you can just put it on your wrist, but I like to put it right here over my heart. So I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to take one deep breath because I don't think you'll be able to hear it, so it's not as interactive. But all you do to use it, if you have one of these, and is you hold it by the stem. If you hold it here, it's not going to vibrate. These have to be free so that they can shake. And then you just hit it to activate it. You just hit it on your hand. You can see that it's vibrating. I don't know that you can hear it, but it lasts for quite a while. And holding it up to my ear, I hear this wonderful deep centering tone. I love it. And it's still going. So this does last holding up to your ear for the same 3 nice, wonderful breaths. And the other thing, and really why I like it, is it's so somatic. It's so visceral. It's so physical. If you're anxious and you hold a lot of tension in your body, besides just doing the deep breaths, you can feel the vibration move through you and help release. So I'm going to do that one breath for you right now. So you just strike it and just hold the stem anywhere you want. And immediately I feel it all through my body. And it's still going. So this is a fantastic tool if you're a physical person that, you just want that physical centering. It's like, God comes down and puts his finger right on your heart and just says, it's okay. It's okay. Breathe. That's what this does. And I love it. And then the last one is very magical if you're more auditory. It's a wind chime, but I actually keep mine inside my office, and I just swirl it myself with my hand, and I'll show it to you in 1 second. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths with me while we do that. And this to me feels like, instead of the chime, which is I'm focused on breathing, and the tuning fork, which is I need a physical relaxation response. This is more, I want to be washed. I want the tension to wash off me. So as I'm playing this wind chime over you, I want you to imagine and feel it just wash over you like a cleansing rain. And you're going to take deep breaths, which is going to wash you from the inside out. But I also just want you to feel the tension drain. I want you to plant your feet firmly on the ground right now. Feel the connection of your feet to the ground, even if it's indoors. But even better, if you have this wind chime at home, you can take it outside. I take it outside all the time. I love it. And put your feet on the ground, on the earth, and get grounded. And then feel the sound wash over you. But if you can't go get a massage for an hour, this is the next best thing. Just 3 deep breaths listening to this, okay? You can even close your eyes, put your feet on the ground, and just listen to this, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Ready? I love this wind chime. It's very magical. You could do it faster, but I like the intentional just rhythm. And again, you could have this hanging outside, but I like to use it intentionally as a break during my workday. When I'm stressed, maybe right before making dinner, right? Because I want to make dinner with love and infuse goodness into this food, especially for food I'm preparing for my kids. I don't need to go into dinner with this feeling. I need to go into dinner with the wind chime, having removed that from my body and setting an intention of, it's great for transition. I'm done the end of my day. I want to move into a relaxing place before dinner and bed that night. So I really like the wind chime for transitions. It might be a little awkward to do if you're in like a little cubby or a communal workspace. In that case, the more private thing to do is this. And you can even go in the bathroom and do this, and no one really hears it but you, and no one feels it but you. And then something that, I think everybody everywhere would love and just enjoys the sound, the clarity of one strike of a chime. So those are 3 fantastic ways to get the benefits of a prolonged meditation in just 3 deep breaths, which have been medically proven and shown to help lower the stress in your body and increase the accuracy and attention span and clarity of your brain so that you can go right back in to whatever you're tackling right in that moment. So this is a fantastic way to not feel like, oh, I just got to muscle through because I can't go get a massage and I'm not going to be able to take off and play golf, and I don't have my cat on my lap, and I don't have time to go to a therapist for an hour. This is clinically relevant. Easy ways that you can take, a 2-minute break and actually return to work and to the issue that you're facing and the problem better than if you hadn't taken a break. So there's no guilt associated with this, and it's not a selfish thing to do. It's a very nurturing, healing, wonderful thing to do, to take that break and actually be a better version of yourself for the rest of the day. And you can do it as often as you need it. You can do it when you get in your car. You can have it by your computer, and every few minutes you could have a timer, or you could just do it when you feel tension in your body. And that tension is a reminder that, hey, I need to just breathe right now. And so those are 3 fantastic ways to do it. And what I like is having a tool, because of course you carry your breath everywhere you go, and you can do that at any time. But I find if I don't have something visual to remind me to do it, I won't remember. I'm just going to keep being in the zone of this frazzle. So having a tuning fork, or having a chime out, or having a wind chime on the edge of your desk, or having, the tuning fork in the glove compartment of your car, something tangible to reach for that becomes part of your daily routine, becomes something that you enjoy holding and look forward to touching. It makes it something you will actually do. And that's the point, I feel like, of health and healing, because it's not really great when someone says, oh, go to therapy and do these 20 supplements and go, sleep on the earth all night long. And then also you have to do Pilates and you have to do meditation. And then also you have to, and all that plus have a family and a career. What? That's not realistic. And I'm also on top of that, by the way, no sugar, no gluten, everything fresh and organic and raw and dark leafy green. What the, that's not realistic. So what is realistic is taking 3 deep breaths and refocusing. And I wouldn't even be telling you to do that if it wasn't clinically shown to actually improve your performance right then and there. So it's worthwhile. So I'm Dr. Laura Koniver, and if you're interested in any of these chimes, plus a link to the study where I really talk about it more in depth, that PTSD study with the mantra, just click below and I'll take you to all of those resources. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.